So what's the plan? That old geezer once told me about you. He said you were quite the fighter back in your heyday. You looking to have a triple threat match or what?
What's poppin', guys? It's Young Mero here, and today we'll be discussing what would have happened if Charles Choi, Tom Lee, and Goo Kim actually had a triple threat match, and who would win. In my opinion, I would say that Goo Kim with a shovel would have won the fight. I'm not saying that Charles or Tom are weak or anything, it's just that Goo is just that strong. I don't think that Charles Choi or Tom Lee could fight Goo with a weapon. I'm pretty sure that Tom Lee would be destroyed because he stated that Gun and Goo might be stronger than him now. Not to mention a non-serious Goo was able to contend with UI Daniel. Now some people might try to say, oh no, but Goo was going all out. But he wasn't. At first Goo wanted to go all out, so he used his kendo. But then when he saw that UI Daniel couldn't react to it, he switched to a fictional fighting style that he saw in an anime. The way people try to downplay Goo is that Daniel just passed out, but that's not the case. Goo is friends with Gun, so Gun obviously told him about UI Daniel and how he broke his arm. So Goo was probably looking forward to the fight, but he was disappointed that Daniel went down easier than he thought. And then there's the argument that Daniel broke Goo's arm, but you see Goo using both his arms perfectly afterwards. Now people might think that speed obviously goes to Charles Choi because he's the second body of James Lee and he probably uses invisible attacks, but Goo was able to take off his glasses in time before Daniel's fist even reached his face, which means he can move at speeds faster than the human eye can perceive, which means he can probably see invisible attacks and counter them. Not to mention Goo's crazy strength and stupid durability, or endurance, or whatever you want to call it. Dude can tank hits and be fine afterwards. Not to mention the Goo that fought Gun and matched Gun was a Goo with a makeshift sword, which means he wasn't at full power. Now people might say, oh no, but he was at full power. That was a sword to him. But if he actually had a sword, I'm pretty sure Gun would be dead instead of just having a scar. I'll cover Gun versus Goo in another video. But let's continue with this one. Charles Choi defeated Kwak Ji Chang with relative ease. And this was a rusty Charles Choi, one who hadn't fought in years. If Charles Choi actually trained a little bit to get back to his prime, I think that he would probably defeat Tom Lee with ease. The reason I say this is because Tom Lee hasn't shown much strength except being comparable to Manager Kim. And a young Goo Kim was able to match Jin Chol Park, who is stronger than Manager Kim. Even though Jin Chol was injured, he wasn't that tired. Now mind you, this was probably a 16 or 17-year-old Goo. A Goo that hasn't met or been trained by Tom Lee yet. This is probably the weakest version of Goo we've seen by far, and yet he was able to overpower Jin Chol Park with a watch. Now mind you, Jin Chol did get serious after this, but Goo wasn't losing any ground. So compared to all these feats that Goo has performed, Charles Choi defeating someone weaker than Gun isn't even that impressive. While Goo has been fighting people on Gun's level or even higher, Charles Choi hasn't really shown much. And Tom Lee was struggling against Yu Song and Mandiak, who were much weaker than Goo. So there you have it. If these three had actually fought, Goo Kim would have taken that victory. I think it would have been a low diff battle, if at most a mid diff battle. That's it for this video. Join me next time as I talk about who would actually win between Gun and Goo at full power. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. And I'll see you guys in the next one.
I be running through the city, wolf. Fucking up niggas is easy, wolf. I be running through the city, wolf. There ain't no one that can beat me, wolf. I be running through the city, wolf. Fucking up niggas is easy, wolf. I be running through the city, wolf. There ain't no one that can beat me.